What if the very thing you've been taught to chase is the one thing slowly killing your soul as a man? Picture this. You're standing at the altar, heart pounding, eyes locked on her, your family smiling, friends clapping. Everything feels like a dream. Fast forward 10 years. You're sitting alone at the kitchen table. Cold dinner. Colder silence. She's in the bedroom scrolling her phone. You don't recognize her anymore. Worse, you don't recognize yourself. The man with fire in his chest is now just tired of walking on eggshells, of trying to fix what she keeps breaking, of being the provider, protector, emotional sponge, and still, never enough. Carl Jung once warned, "A man who sacrifices his individuality to please others loses both his power and his purpose." And modern marriage? It's the altar where countless men have unknowingly sacrificed both. Let's unpack the dark psychological truth Jung knew all along. Carl Jung taught that every man must face his individuation, the journey to becoming a complete and whole self, not a puppet, not a provider, not a pawn in a woman's emotional labyrinth. But here's the twist. Modern marriage interrupts that journey. It forces men into roles they never chose. You become the husband archetype, obedient, predictable, sacrificing. You become safe, and in doing so, invisible. Jung believed that men are meant to integrate both their rational mind and primal instinct. But the modern husband is trained to suppress both. No confrontation, no wild ambition, no desires that might rock the boat. So what happens? You become domesticated. Like a lion kept in a zoo, impressive to look at, but stripped of his roar. And here's the kicker, she stops respecting you. Not because you're cruel, but because you're tame. Because what she really wanted was a man with fire, not a butler with feelings. Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Men enter marriage seeking stability, companionship, legacy. But unconsciously, they're seeking permission to stop evolving, to finally arrive, to rest. But here's the dark truth. Marriage today doesn't offer rest. It offers regression. You give up your edge. You stop chasing mastery. You trade your purpose for peace. But it's not real peace, it's quiet defeat. The bills keep coming. The spark keeps fading. And every disagreement turns into a guilt trip. You're not a man anymore. You're a compromise. And yet, you stay. Why? Because you've told yourself, this is just life. This is how it's supposed to be. But Jung would tell you, that's not life. That's a sleepwalk. And the longer you stay asleep, the harder it becomes to wake up. Let's go deeper. Jung believed that every man carries within him a feminine side, the anima. And every woman carries the animus, her inner masculine. But in modern marriage, that balance is shattered. The anima is overdeveloped. Men are told to be more emotional, more passive, more understanding. They stop asserting. They stop leading. They become what Jung feared, men ruled by their inner feminine, cut off from their true masculine power. Meanwhile, the animus in women grows. Dominance, control, independence. She doesn't want to be led, she wants to lead. And what happens when a man gives up his masculinity, while his wife embraces hers? Resentment, reversal of polarity, emotional emasculation. You're not equals. You're competitors. And she no longer sees you as her man, but as her project. Let's strip away the romance for a second. Legally, marriage is a contract. Emotionally, it's a power struggle. Psychologically, it's a battlefield. And on every front, the man loses. In Jungian psychology, the worst thing a man can do is suppress his shadow, his dark, primal truth. Because what you suppress controls you. Marriage tells men, don't think about sex. Don't speak your truth. Don't question the contract. So men bottle it up, until it explodes in quiet despair. Or worse, in complete apathy. You don't cheat. You don't leave. You just stop living. One long sigh after another. And guess what? She feels it. She pulls away. Then one day, she files the papers. Not because you were a bad man, but because you were no longer a man. But here's where it changes. Some men are waking up. Not bitter. Not broken. But aware. They're choosing freedom over fantasy. Solitude over servitude. Purpose over partnerships that require self-erasure. They're building empires. Healing their trauma. Facing their shadow, not outsourcing their happiness. They're not anti-women. They're pro-self. They understand what Jung tried to tell us, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And no contract, no wedding ring, no societal pressure is worth losing that. So before you chase the altar, ask yourself this, are you marrying her? Or are you abandoning you? Because Carl Jung didn't just study the mind. He studied the soul. And he warned us, a man who looks outside dreams. But a man who looks inside, awakens. Look inside, brother. And don't go back to sleep.